Hello everyone, we're back with Gunsmith part 15. Today we're doing an AS Val. Here is the final build if you want to see it. Otherwise, we're going to get into it and build it right from scratch now. So the first thing, we're going to go onto the flea market and look for a Val. These things are difficult to get from the traders otherwise. They're locked to high trader level loyalty, which is level 4. So we're going to have to buy one and they're pretty expensive, honestly. So just buy the one that you can. Make sure that the durability is decent, it's not completely crazy. And make sure if you buy one like this, make sure that you do repair this before you try to hand it in. So we're going to go and modify any of these ones that are fully functional and working. The first thing we need to do is take off the stock. So remove the stock, and that then allows you to add this thing, the R43 Val, the 43 pistol grip and buffer tube part, which we're going to use. Now, this one you can either just buy it directly from the flea market, or you can barter it for a packet of milk, which is probably a lot cheaper. It's usually about half the price, so go and do that. Then we're going to add on the GL shock. We're going to add this stock on here. This is one that is just not really a very good stock in the game, so this one's normally really cheap on the flea, but you can also barter it for a WD-40, one of these things, the 400 mils, so you can get it that way instead. It's pretty easy to get. Next, we need to put on the laser part, so we're going to go and add the B3. This is the cheapest mount that you can get, the Zenit B3 ring mount, and on top of that we are going to add what it asks for in the quest, which is the AN PEQ 15. After this, we need to put on the night scope. Now, there's two mounts for the Val. This one, which is the PSO's version, so don't click this part. Click this one here, the one just above it, and you can add on the NSPU. This is another part that is completely naff in the actual game, so they're usually really cheap, so just buy one from the flea. The final part, which is expensive and always has been for these kind of guns, is a 30-round mag. There are now two options. There's the Val VSS one, and there is the one for the SR3M. It's also compatible, like they're both compatible with the same guns, doesn't really matter. But this one has slightly less ergo than this one, by half. And so usually you find that the SR3M magazine is a little bit cheaper. And this is the one that's retained the 4 pliers barter. So if this thing is really expensive, you can always do the 4 pliers barter at Prapor, otherwise just buy it from the flea market because it's usually about the same price. So I'm going to stick that on the SR3M, and then we're going to select my weapon, which was this one here. Now, when I press assemble here, something odd is happening where it's saying I need to buy the integral barrel suppressor and the VSS dust cover, but this is clearly not the case because I do actually have these on the gun already. So something's just a little bit bugged about the Gunsmith builder. As you can see, this one is basically the same as the one that I have in my stash, this guy here. If I go back to edit the preset, this is exactly the one that we just had, except for a little bit of difference in durability. So add all these parts on and it should work. I mean, I guess in theory you could take off the front sight if you want to as well and assemble that. We're going to go and hand this into mechanic. It should work, shouldn't be any more gripes. So long as you make sure that the durability is fine, you shouldn't have any problems with this build, despite some weird bugs with the gun builder. With that, we'll move on to Gunsmith part 16.